Hi, I'm Dave Scott for Specialized Bikes. I was riding this weekend with a couple of my athletes, and we were climbing up one of the long canyons outside of Boulder, and I was watching their technique in and out of the saddle, and I was trying to encourage them actually to stand up just a little bit more. And, why do you want to stand up? Well, when you stand up, and how do you do it properly? When you do stand up, it opens up your hip angle, and by opening up that hip angle, you can really cue your glutes to fire so that you're not overloading your quads. And a lot of athletes that are weak in their glutes, when they're doing a seated climb or a longer climb, they have a tendency to really load their quads, particularly the lateral side. The TFL gets real tight, the IT band gets real tight, and they feel this all the way through the rectus femoris and the medial side of their quad. The vastus medialis oblique. So I encourage my athletes to periodically stand up, and when you stand up, there's a few things technique-wise. Your hands should be really soft on the brake hoods unless you're going up a really steep grade. You don't want to overwork your hands, and you want to make sure you keep your head high. If you get too far forward, your eyes are going to be focused down, so you really want to try to look up towards the horizon. The second thing is that you want to draw your belly in, and not your rectus abdominis, not your hip flexors. You want to keep the normal curve of your back, but you draw your belly in, tightening what's called your transverse abdominis, and it's a deep corset-like muscle that really helps stabilize your spinal muscle and generates more power out of your glutes. And so the advantage of drawing your belly in is that TA is activated, a slow-acting muscle, and you're going to be able to generate more force. Next thing is to keep your toes open. If you find that your feet are flexed and you're actually grabbing the bottom of the pedal, you're going to put a lot of stress on that patellar tendon right below your kneecap in the front, and you'll actually feel this. So check to see when you're applying pressure at 3 o'clock that your toes are open as you press down. Just a couple more things. As you rock from side to side, you can use your hands, so you pull lightly on your brake hoods as you're stepping down on the same side. So as my right leg is at 3 o'clock, I'm grabbing the brake hood and I pull lightly and I release about 5 o'clock. You never want to feel like you're pulling all the way through to 6 o'clock, nor do you want to feel like you lock out your leg at the bottom of that pedal stroke. And lastly, when you're standing, to activate those glutes, draw that TA in, draw your belly in, and I'm going to tell you something that's kind of crazy. You want to feel like you're squeezing your crack together so your crack is really tight, and then you're going to feel your glutes working really well. Once you do that, you'll be able to transfer from a standing position to a seated position, vice versa, and you'll notice when you go in and out of the saddle that changing that muscle recruitment allows your muscles a little reprieve, and ultimately you're going to be stronger. So hopefully that helps. I'll be back for Specialized a little bit later on with a few more tips.